It's not auto-tune. You heard the soundtrack?
In your mind, what's the most important thing when creating a sequel?
Oh, that's a
I
great
think it's
question.
really important that we not undo the work of the first film. Like especially in this case, Vaiana is such a beloved character, and the first film she goes through incredible personal growth and really comes into her own as an adventurer and as a wayfinder and as leader of her people. And so in this case, in thinking about a sequel, we wanted to build on that and not undo any of the change that she went through, but push her further than she had been before.
Yeah. And which elements from the first Moana were most important for you to build upon?
I mean, we definitely wanted to make sure that Maui and Moana were going to be in this together and the relationship would go further and be different than in the first film. So that was really important. Obviously, music is a huge important part of any story that has Vaiana in it. And then this incredible, beautiful world that they live in and that they inhabit is those elements are really important because I think as an audience member, you're going to see Vaiana 2 expecting to see those things, but we're hoping to show it in a different way.
Yeah. And can you tell me a bit about how the story in Moana 2 developed? Were there any specific themes or messages that you wanted to explore in this movie?
Sure.
I think if the first film was really about who Moana is as a wayfinder, the second film is about who Moana can be as a wayfinder. And I think looking towards the future and seeing that if the first film is really about like who she is in terms of identity, this film is really about how the identity continues to evolve and grow. And in that discovery of self, it's really about that connection to people. And so this search for people and really connecting people across the ocean was really critical.
How is it working with the rock? Um,
You know what? It's really fun because he's an incredible actor. He brings so much of this role. He really it's really meaningful to him to return to this role, and he can really bring. You know, there's people that's voice work can really lend itself to animation, and he's one of them. And so he can not only bring his incredible comedy, but in this film, he really brings in an emotional depth that I found to be really incredible. But he is just a real blast to work with. He's very fun and he's larger than life in real life, and we really use that to our advantage as he plays the character of Maui.
yeah. And can he sing in real life or is it just out of tune?
It's not auto-tune. You heard the soundtrack?
Yeah, I heard it. It was really good.
Yeah.
And I've heard that Dwayne encouraged fans to sing along to the songs when they
Yeah.
watch Moana in theaters.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I think we love the idea of people seeing this film in theaters together, and it's meant to be a celebration of the Pacific. It's a fun adventure, and if you feel compelled to sing along, sing your little heart out.
Yeah.
And I understand that Moana 2 was originally planned as a TV series. What led to the decision making it a movie? And what the challenges or opportunities in making that shift?
Yeah, we were telling an overarching story over that series version of this, and you know, about every 2 or 3 months we screen it in our theater at the studio, and we're watching it up on a big screen, and it was pretty obvious the story was really telling us that it belonged on the big screen. And so once we all felt that, we were all looking at each other, and we had a lot of comments from the people that are working at the studio saying, why isn't this going to be a movie? Why isn't it going to go on the big screen? Showing the world of Moana on the big screen is the best possible thing. So everybody at the studio, including the larger Disney company, agreed with that. And then it was just really the hard work of making sure that the story was all told through Moana's point of view. And it's just like the rest of our films, we just work really hard to make sure all those pieces connect in the right way. But that just takes time, and we keep working on it until it's right.
And how did you three get involved in making Moana 2?
I'll say I started in the Moana world by co-writing the live action with Jared Bush, and that was a really wonderful working relationship. And one day he said, "Hey, we're doing this Moana 2 over at Disney Animation. Would you like to come play? And I'm so grateful that he brought me over to work with these fine folks here. And I'm so excited that it means we get to sit here and talk about Moana 2 coming into theaters.
And what's it like collaborating as a team of 3 directors?
Yeah, you know what? It was actually it's a process that I'm used to at Disney Animation. It's a very collaborative process. We're always constantly working together, and so that came very natural to me. It's also you can only really build trust by working together and knowing that the people that you're working with, you respect their opinions. So it comes from respect. It comes from trusting that collaboration, and then seeing the fruits of it. Honestly, because when we work together, it was getting better. We can always lean on each other or test ideas, but that's not just amongst ourselves. It actually goes and extends out to our whole crew. We always invite everybody to give opinions and to give their thoughts or to pitch ideas, because you never know where a good idea will come from. And we love to embrace that at the studio. It really does work.
Yeah. And for someone like me who mostly sees the final result, the process of directing an animated film can be hard to imagine. How would you describe the key differences between animations and live action?
Yeah.
I think they're both really special processes that do involve a lot of collaboration. To me, the best way to describe it is when you're shooting live action, it's all departments coming together in one moment to create a frame. That's on set. You know, you have your costumes, you have your actors, you have your lighting, your grips, everything comes together in that moment. In animation, what I've learned is that you're building each frame one department at a time a lot of times. When you have a script, and then you have a storyboard, and then it goes into camera, and the animators get to work, and then tech animators. There's so many different layers that create each frame, and it's really exciting because it means that you get to have so many technicians and artists working on a frame and building it from the ground up.
If you had to pick one character from a Disney movie, which one can you relate to the most?
Moana, Vaiana. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I will say in this film, I'm just going to use this film because there's the Disney's got a lot of characters, but in this film, I really love the character of Moni. You know, he's a storyteller. He likes to draw, and he's a big, huge, super fan of Maui. So, you know, I can relate to that pretty easily. So Moni for me.
Yeah, I would probably say Kayleigh. I mean, these guys know I can be kind of grumpy sometimes, but it's all in good fun, and I just try to feed people too. So it's a good blend.